I've always wanted to end a video like that. No eggs, no problem. Today I'm sharing over a dozen of my favorite egg substitutes and exactly where to use them to take the guesswork out of when to use which one. I'll be covering everything from gluten-free baking, cookies, muffins, cakes, savory dishes, dishes where eggs are the star, so that you have the full gamut. Plus, I'm going to test some of them in the same category against each other to see which one is going to give you the best result. My favorite. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's get right into it. For muffins, brownies, and cakes, we're looking for an egg substitute that's going to give us a nice tender crumb. Starting first, we're going with the all-star favorite, bananas. For each egg, we're going to need a 1/4 cup of mashed bananas. I like to go for a banana that's decently ripe. And of course, bear in mind that this is going to add a little bit of sweetness to whatever you're adding it to, so I prefer to add it to dishes that are already on the sweeter side. And just an early heads up, I'm going to have a free PDF that you can get all of these egg substitutes in one place if you want to print it or to save it to your computer, so check the description box for that. I add bananas to all sorts of things, and just a reminder that muffins and cakes also include cupcakes and quick breads. So like here, I normally add an extra banana into my banana bread, and I also love it in chocolate flavored baked goods as well. Next up, the mighty pumpkin puree. You can also use sweet potato puree. A 1/4 cup is going to give you 1 egg. I absolutely love doing this, especially for like fall desserts, but just all year round. I use pumpkin puree for everything because it also adds some nice fiber. I love doing it specifically in cornbread actually. You should give it a try. It turns out perfect. It gives it the moisture that's needed, and it's actually why I love making pumpkin desserts in general, because it is just moisture heaven, absolutely delicious. I have a pumpkin cheesecake recipe, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cupcakes, all the pumpkin dishes on the site, so yeah, be sure to check those out. Since applesauce is high in pectin, it's an incredible binding agent and actually one of my favorite on this entire list. For each egg, you're going to replace it with a 1/4 cup of applesauce, and because this has a milder flavor, it works in a great multitude of baked goods. Its flavor is pretty undetectable, so I love using it in carrot cake, but also I have this in my gluten-free chocolate cake, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I love applesauce. I love using vegan yogurts, especially in quick breads and sometimes even in pancakes. Plus, I always seem to have a little bit left over, so it's kind of ideal for that. You can also use this as like a dredge for things that maybe you normally use egg to like dredge it for, because yeah, it works perfectly there as well. I took the time to just make my vegan yogurt here, but yeah, obviously you can buy store-bought as well, but I just showed it because I know people are always asking if it's easy to make. It really is, so just be sure to check out my site for that recipe. 3 tablespoons of almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, sunflower butter. They're all going to give you the equivalent of 1 egg, and I really like this because it adds a nice nutty flavor as well, but superb texture. Of course, be careful if someone is allergic to nuts, but yeah, I find that this works perfectly in cookies and brownies and muffins for the incredible flavor that they add. They also work really well in pancakes and waffles. Next up, we're tackling gluten-free baking and cookies, where a binder is a must. Of course, even if you're not making gluten-free goods, you can use these. First up, the mighty flax egg and the also mighty chia egg. Now, I prefer grounding my chia seeds for the best texture, but you're going to use 1 tablespoon to 3 tablespoons of water each to replace each egg, and just add that to your fridge for about 15 minutes so that it's properly set up. I actually tested these along with another one in this category against each other, so be sure to check the end of this section for that result. I literally just made cornbread with this a while ago, and it also works there, but yeah, I find that these are such great binders. They also work in savory dishes as well. If you're making meatballs or you're making like vegan meatloaf as well, they work perfectly. Surprisingly, I've also used flax seeds in my French toast recipe, and I was so shocked at how good they turned out that I also used them in my overnight French toast casserole as well. So if you kind of need that binder and the texture is not going to be something that's like standing out, then they also work great there, especially since this is already bread, so it's not standing out. A starch slurry is always what I hear people say that they didn't know could be an egg replace, so it is one of my favorites, especially in brownies. It gives you that perfect crackly top. You can use cornstarch, potato starch, arrowroot, tapioca starch. They're all going to work here. I personally love cornstarch, but yeah, if you have any of those, that's going to give you that perfect egg replace as well. Gives you an incredibly soft crumb. It also works great in puddings, sauces, of course, soups, and custards. I use this in my vegan cheesecake. Now, it's already built in, so I use some of the liquid from other parts of the recipe here. So you're not going to add that liquid here, of course, because it's already built into the recipe, but it turned out perfectly. As you can see, an absolutely divine and perfect texture cheesecake. Okay, I thought it would be really cool to test a cornstarch egg against a flax egg and a chia egg. Now, this is not to say one is better than the other, but yeah, I've always wanted to do one of these like comparison videos. So first up, I thought it was super interesting how they all looked slightly different, but also similar. You know, I mean, this was a very quickly prepped cookie batter. They all smell the same. I feel like the flaxseed has, to me, the best texture. My answer keeps changing each time. The cornstarch came out the softest. And the chia seed has the most nutty flavor, which actually tastes really good. I thought I was gonna choose a cornstarch as my favorite, but I actually think the flax seeds, they just win. They are just a perfect texture, and that's why flax eggs are so popular, right? If you have cornstarch, arrowroot, potato starch, chia seeds, it's pretty clear that you can make this recipe or any of your other baked goods and it's gonna turn out almost identical. Flaxseed is my favorite. That was so much fun to do. So we're heading right into meringues, marshmallows, soufflés, and mousse. And we're gonna use the one and only Aquafaba. Aquafaba gained tons of popularity in 2015, and it's essentially bean water. Technically speaking, you can use any bean water, but chickpea bean water became the most popular. I recommend using a can of no salt added, or it's literally gonna be salted egg, which is not necessarily gonna work for your egg substitutes. You drain that liquid and then you're gonna whip it up. It's gonna give you that perfect whipped texture that you're gonna need, and a lot of stabilization for the recipes that you need that for, like in this tiramisu right here. 3 tablespoons replaces every egg and 2 tablespoons replaces every egg white. I also have a blog post all about Aquafaba if you want to check that out. Okay, savory recipes. If you're allergic to eggs like me, this may be the category that interests you the most. First, let's start with binders. Quick cooking oats make the perfect egg substitute for meatballs, veggie burgers, anything in that category, because they literally absorb the moisture, and I recommend letting it sit for about 15 to 30 minutes first, just to make sure it properly, like, quote unquote sets up in your recipe. Chickpea flour is beautifully diverse in the egg replacing category. 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of water will give you 1 egg. You can also use it to make an egg scramble, batter for breading, or for making omelets, fritters, and frittatas. And while I did not mention it here, the humble mung bean is absolutely incredible for doing a very similar thing, so definitely try that out as well. It makes the perfect just egg replacement. Firm tofu transforms into everyone's favorite tofu scramble. This is like my go-to tofu scramble. But firm tofu also works perfectly as an actual egg replacement once it's blended up, of course, and it works as well in custards and quiches. As you can imagine, it also makes a great frittata base as well as some mini egg muffins. I recently discovered silken tofu as an egg replacement. A quarter cup will give you 1 egg replacement, but you can also use it to make mayonnaise. I recommend draining it in a strainer to remove all that extra liquid, but it's going to give you an oil-free, low-calorie mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise, which is also going to give you the same protein as my very popular vegan mayonnaise recipe. And let me tell you something, I have been making this like non-stop because I feel like I can just add a lot more mayonnaise to whatever I want, but also it's giving me the same protein as my regular mayonnaise, so I absolutely love it for that. As you can see, the texture here is pretty spot on. It's also a lot easier to make. Here are a few more egg replacers, or recipes that fall in the egg replacement category in general. Namak, also known as black salt, is going to give you that egg taste and sulfurous smell that is sometimes missing when it comes to savory recipes. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to add in just a little bit. It's very powerful. I add regular salt if I'm adding regular salt in a recipe, but it does add a little bit of saltiness as well. I love using it in quiches, egg muffins, frittatas. I also have a tofu egg salad that this would work perfectly in as well. And of course, tofu scramble would work perfectly with Namak as well. Recipes that really need that lift, baking soda and vinegar is going to give you an incredible egg replacer. And I also love this because you tend to always have this in your house as well. You often see this baking soda and vinegar reaction in red velvet cake recipes, and I did want to add that adding a little bit of vinegar to your baking soda is also a good way to test if it's still alive, because you don't want to mess up your bake recipe by doing all of that. This also works great in general for cakes, cupcakes, quick breads, muffins, again, anywhere that you're going to need that nice lift and rise for your baked good. Carbonated water, sparkling water, is also a great egg substitute. A quarter cup is going to give you 1 egg, and I specifically like using this in recipes that need a nice airy texture. Here I use it in my vegan fish just to kind of like batter it, but you can also use it for pancakes, for waffles. It's going to give you that nice light airy texture and that binding power. Be sure of course to use unflavored carbonated water for your recipe. We're almost at an end, but I couldn't do this video without bringing up store-bought egg replacers. These tend to be a combination of ingredients to give you that perfect egg replacer to use wherever you need it, depending on the type of recipe that you're making. This is one of my favorites, and I've been using it for about 12 years now, but there's so many other kinds as well. Of course, there's like just egg. You have so many other kinds, you know, if you want like a ready-made one, if you're using it in a baked good. So yeah, definitely just look for those as well. These are also very easy to have on hand if you just don't feel like mixing anything. filling, or you kind of just want something that is just foolproof no matter what. Well, there you have it. I've always wanted to end a video like that. But there you have it, all of my favorite egg substitutes. And if you want even more information on all of them, I will link the blog post down below. JessicaInTheKitchen.com is where you're going to find everything. Plus, I have a PDF guide that you're going to get in your email as well, or you can just get it in the blog post. That's going to give you everything if you want to print it off and just make a little book out of it as well. I hope you enjoyed this video so much. I've been thinking of making this video for months now, and it was just to bring everything together to make it possible, but I'm really happy that I was finally able to share it with you, and I really hope that it's helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video. Let me know in the comment section down below which is your favorite egg substitute, which one you're going to give a try, or which one maybe surprised you as something that you didn't know was an egg substitute. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any notifications about my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!